And here we are on 69th Street, 114th Avenue, East Glen Pool Curling Club. New sidewalks, elm trees, and this 1939 beauty. So we got spruce wood floors in here. Probably original. Although this might have been an addition, we're not sure. Some really cool hardware that doesn't function because the windows have been painted shut. Same with these. And it's a pretty slopey little space. Kind of to be expected. This door closes as well, so. Beautiful handle. Okay, so this side has laminate, but underneath it has pretty much the same floor as here, that old hardwood. And this stuff has been refinished. At least once. It's old, cute, and creaky. I can show you here. That's the subfloor. And that's the old hardwood. You see better on this angle. Then you could either make this your dining room or living room, depending on how you want to position everything. They might probably had a table here, that's why this is over the middle. This window is definitely not super old. This one is old. Kind of matches the one in the bedroom. And there's clearly been a couple additions to this place. Don't know how many, but seems as though they've added on at some point. Santa will definitely be coming down that chimney. Floor's a little squishy here. Wouldn't be surprised if you needed to replace that subfloor at some point. A little closety thing here for linen and the like. Offspring. And up here we have a Scott closet. Whoops. That's a lot of that needed to be. So here we got a bedroom with what I'm sure is an addition. Same thing, laminate on top of hardwood. And this is the same kind of planks that I saw in the entrance. See how it's different from these ones? Different thickness, width anyway. And you'll see once we go to the basement why they wanted this upstairs. They even opened this up. At some point they made this wider to get in. Now this window, this is a newer one. Kind of like that one in the dining room. That is an older one. Let's explore. That's the old aluminum. It's in really good shape. And then this window, you can see the date. 1973. I don't know how well it's coming through, but I can see 1973 Canadian Panelite. A company that no doubt does not exist anymore. pretty large bedroom with the addition. And a pretty average bedroom without the addition. Here you've got what I think used to be a display case. You put, two glass, sliding glass sliders to celebrate all your tchotchkes and awards and whatever else. Just a timeout corner. Yeah, we got some lights on in here. Hello, neighbors. Can you see? Well, you can't really get much sky except in the reflection of their window. And the floors are singing with every step you take. I'm wondering if that ever had a wood stove here. That hole looks like it might have been a gas line at one point. Who knows? Before we go down, I'll show you this little back addition, which has no basement under it, so no real foundation. Of course, it slopes and bounces a little bit too. This is fairly recent, relatively speaking. Vinyl siding. And a pretty good looking roof, actually. Looks quite recent. They got some beefed up electrical. So definitely 100 amp, not old 60 amp. It's not the widest lot. My guess is it's a 33-foot lot. It's definitely not a 50-foot lot. There's our leisure center. Hello, East Glen. Let's get a closer look. Where Pamela May can relive the glory days. Super private yard with all these cedar shrubs. And this grade 1 tree. At least that's what I call them. Because everyone used to come home with trees in grade 1 that got planted, and some of them took and some of them didn't. So here's the actual door that you would walk in. And then this sliding thing is just for, getting up to the deck. Does it lock? Don't let me down. Yeah, it locks. And actually, this is a, pretty good workspace. Here's your door again. Back to your little parking spot. Bit of little stuff like this, kind of just moving here and there. So we tidied up. But a house this old is gonna have all kinds of quirks. For example, the basement stairs. Now, this is the greatest mystery of this house so far. What in the world were these for? Why are there breathing holes over there? Are they running some kind of a fur industry? Or I don't know. And they used to have little shelves here, but someone probably got tired of smacking their forehead every time they came down and said, get rid of those shelves. So what we have here is a part basement foundation. So under this you'll have dirt. Get some more light. And I don't know the whole reasoning behind it, but I think it was a cost savings measure. You didn't have to dig down as far. You didn't have to put as much foundation, concrete. See how crooked that is. But you know, you got some storage down here. There's a gas line. Oh, I wonder if that used to be a gas stove. In the kitchen above us. Door number 1, door number 2. Door number 1 it is. Good choice. Oh, this is a somewhat suitable bedroom with a newer window that is almost egress. It's just a little short, but it's better than the other one. And, you know, fairly uneven floor is to be expected. This is access to the water tank, and speaking of uneven, you know, it's gotta be creative sometimes. Okay, so that's a really, really old furnace. I'll give you a better view in a second. That is, not sure what's going on there. Another mystery. And there's the old clean out down there. So I think there must have been a wood stove at some point in this place. And if that's structural, it's a little goofy. Down here we've got the workshop, the winery, the utility room. Now, if you can interpret what that means. Basically, they're saying it's not 60 amp. You know, it's an old house, but we got modern enough electrical. You know what? This was simply the washer and dryer hookup, I bet. Yeah, that's what that was. And they've even got a gas line if you want to run a gas dryer. That window's been covered over. What the heck is this? I don't know. You do have an old, what do you call this? Cast iron stack. However, there's some newer pipes going into it, and there's been some servicing here over the years. Another display case, if you will. And look at this ancient beauty. Holy Toledo. That is an old furnace. But don't worry, it was serviced in 2006. Here's an old humidifier, which I'm sure is also disconnected. Quite useless. So let's just say $5,000, new furnace. Sorter closet, no comment. And this is a smaller room with a smaller window. And some crappy old laminate. What more do you need? But I'm pretty sure someone was sleeping down here. You got a lock on that door. You know, someone really small. Now on the way up. On the way up. I haven't gone up this, but that's just your attic, so you can see how much insulation there is or is not. But take a look at the incline on these steps here. Oh yeah, this is your broom closet as well. Nice that the door opens on its own for you. This is the kitchen. And I actually really like this these two windows meeting in the corner. That's just a nice feature. A lot of evening sun will come in through there.